In 2021, Congress passed the Corporate Transparency Act. This law creates a new reporting requirement for companies and LLCs that are registered in the United States. It's part of the U.S. government's effort to make it harder for bad actors to hide or benefit from their ill-gotten gains through shell companies or other opaque ownership structures. The two important things for you to note are, one, if someone fails to comply with the BOI reporting requirements, they may be subject to civil penalties of $500 per day and criminal penalties, including a $10,000 fine and up to 2 years of prison time. And two, I'm going to walk you through how to complete your BOI report so you don't even have to worry about these fines. Let's get to it. Welcome back to another episode of Minding My Money Mondays, the place where we help individuals and small businesses make my money make sense. So what is the deadline to file the BOI report? The deadline to file the FinCEN BOI report depends on when your company was created or registered. For companies created or registered to do business before January 1st, 2024, the deadline is January 1st, 2025. So as of the date of this video, you might have less than 30 days to comply or face fines. For companies created or registered to do business in 2024, the deadline is 90 calendar days from the date of receiving actual or public notice that your creation or registration is effective. And for companies created or registered to do business after January 1st, 2025, the deadline is 30 calendar days from the date of receiving your actual or public notice that your creation or registration is effective. Now, what exactly is beneficial ownership information and who has to report it? Beneficial ownership information, or BOI, refers to identifying information about the individuals who directly or indirectly own or control a company. So, who has to file a BOI report? Well, things can be sort of complicated. To start, there are 23 types of entities that are exempt from filing a report, like financial institutions, nonprofit organizations with IRS 501(c) status, and a few others. So, to make things simple, let's give you some general examples of who has to file the report. In its simplicity, you basically want to ask yourself the questions that FinCEN has posted in this little infographic. So if you're looking at it under U.S. laws, is the company a corporation? If yes, it may have to be a domestic reporting company. If no, is it an LLC? If it's an LLC, it may be a domestic reporting company. If no, was the company created by the filing of a document with a Secretary of State or any similar office under the state law or Indian tribe? If yes, then it might be a domestic reporting company. If no, then it's not a reporting company. So basically, in summary, if you have a corporate entity that is registered with your state Department of Corporations, like the Secretary of State here in Illinois, then you might just want to go ahead and file the report just to be safe. And if you're unsure on if you should or should not file the report, please contact a qualified professional. Given that this is not a tax item, many CPAs, including myself, are not preparing them for entities. So basically, go out to the web, search for a provider, and then do your own due diligence to make sure that they are qualified to be filing the report for you, unless you want to file the report for yourself. So where do you file the BOI report? Well, let's go ahead and hop on over to the computer. So what you're going to do is you're going to head on over to FinCEN.gov, which is the website for the U.S. Department of Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Then you're going to scroll on down to the BOI icon. On this page, you'll see information on how do you file the report, do you qualify for an exemption, as well as how do you get a FinCEN ID. Now, just know that you do not need a FinCEN ID in order to submit your BOI report, but doing so will allow you to bypass entering some of the information on the report, and if you update your information on your FinCEN ID application, it will update the information on your BOI. Now, before we get to our last section, I just want to say, having been in business for quite some time, that launching your business is going to take everything that you've got in order to make it a success. So to help you out, we created a free digital download for you, 10 accounting and tax tips for startups and small businesses. To grab your copy, just click the link in the description of this video, or you can click the link right up here. We'll then go ahead and shoot that over to you immediately via email. And we'll also let you know when our brand new course, How to Set Your Business Up from a Legal and Tax Perspective, a step-by-step guide, is ready for purchase. Getting your FinCEN identifier. So as I mentioned, getting a FinCEN ID is not mandatory, but we're going to go ahead and walk through that piece of the process so that if you want to get one, you'll know how to go ahead and do it. So when you're on the FinCEN site, you're just going to hit Create a FinCEN ID. And then you're going to sign in or create an account with login.gov. So if you do not have an account, you basically need to create an account. Now, if you need to create your login.gov account, what you're going to do is you're going to follow these steps. So you'll go in and you'll enter in your email address. You're going to click the submit button. And then you're going to have to check your email for a message from login.gov because they're going to basically try and verify that that email address is valid. Once you confirm that, then you'll be able to create your login.gov account, and you will be able to go from there. So we'll click in sign in, and because I have a login.gov account, we'll just go ahead and sign in. And of course, I have two-factor authentication, so it's going to ask me for a code. So once you're in the site, you're basically going to go ahead and enter in your information. So my first name, last name, date of birth. You'll go ahead and enter in the address that you have on file for yourself. And then you're going to have to enter in a personal document. So this can be either a state-issued driver's license, state or local tribal issued ID, U.S. passport, or foreign passport. Since I'm using a driver's license, I put that. And then you're going to actually load the file. And I don't even know if they're going to accept this ID right here, but we're going to try it out anyway. Then what you're going to do is you're going to certify that the information furnished is true, correct, and complete. Select that you agree, and then you are going to submit. So completing and submitting your BOI report. Back over here on FinCEN's website, once you click on BOI, you'll be presented with this screen, and then you're going to say you'll file a report using the BOI e-filing system, okay? You just select this BOI e-filing, get started. You can submit your submission by either downloading a PDF and completing it offline and then uploading it, or you can just use their web-based portal to actually complete the information all at once, and that's what we're going to go ahead and do. And it's going to give you a warning you are entering a U.S. government information system, so don't go lying because you will get in trouble. So you say you agree. Now, the type of filing is more than likely going to be your initial filing, but if you did need to correct a prior filing, there's options for that. Or if you need to update a prior filing because you've moved, your address has changed, name has changed because you got married, something like that, then you have those options. But for most of us, we're just simply going to go ahead and say that this is the initial report. The date that is prepared is already going to be pre-filled. So you have a Privacy Act paperwork reduction. You can go ahead and click next. And then now you can say here if you do not have a FinCEN ID, and also you can hover over all these little things and it'll give you more information about it. If you want to request a FinCEN ID, then you can do that. Otherwise, and for most of us, we are not foreign pooled investment vehicles. I already have a FinCEN ID, so I'm not going to check that box. So we will put in our reporting company's legal name. So that is the legal name of the entity, corporation, LLC, et cetera, that you are filing a report for. If you have an alternate name or a trade name, you will do that. You will put that in. You have to put in tax identification number, such as like your EIN, your SSN, ITIN, or if you are foreign, you would put that. We're going to put in our EIN. Next, you have the country or jurisdiction in which you were formed. So we are a U.S.-based corporation. You will put the state. We are formed in Illinois. And if you have a tribal jurisdiction or formation, you would put that in as well. You're then going to go ahead and put in the U.S.-based address. If you don't have a U.S. address, then you would, put that in. But basically, you're going to put in your U.S. address, followed by the state and the zip code. So then what you're going to do is you'll go ahead, you'll click next. So if existing reporting company is basically if the company existed prior to January 1st, 2023. So we've been incorporated for many years, so we're just going to go ahead and check that box. Now we get to the actual beneficial ownership information. Now, according to the Corporate Transparency Act, you are considered a beneficial owner and must be reported on a BOI report if you own or control at least 25% of a company's ownership interest, either directly or indirectly. You're also considered a beneficial owner if you exercise substantial control over the company, even if your ownership percentage is less than 25%. Meaning a senior officer, important decision maker, or someone who can appoint or remove officers, they would also have to include their information on the BOI report. So here, I am the beneficial owner for our company. I'm not going to put in my FinCEN ID because if I do, it will go ahead and gray out everything. But what you're going to do is you're going to put in your information. Once you've entered in all the beneficial ownership information, you're going to be taken to this screen, which you're going to actually submit. And of course, you can always keep track of what you're doing by just going across the top. If you need to go back, you can just go back into any one of the sections. You're going to enter in an email. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to submit your BOIR. And then when you're finished, you're going to get a submission status confirmation. I've kind of grayed the information out because I don't want you knowing any of it. But basically, it will tell you if your filing was successful, and then it will also give you some tracking information. So as you can see from this video, you can complete your BOI in about 5 to 10 minutes, and it's not a terribly complicated report, and most people can probably handle it on their own. But if you're not confident and would prefer that someone else do it, then just make sure that you follow the recommendations we outlined earlier about vetting any potential providers. Now, if you like this video and got some value from it, then please consider giving it a thumbs up, or you can say thanks by buying me a coffee. The link is in the description of this video, and the extra coins go towards helping us make future videos and pay for things like gear and props. So until we meet again, let's all remember to mind my money, and I will see you all next Monday. Take care.